Hashem Yisbarach. Yom Chamishi leParshas Pinchas Shnas Tov Ayin Zayin Shiva Tiferes Avigdor. Parshas Pinchas always falls out every 3 weeks. Need to understand the kesher between Pinchas and the 3 weeks. If somebody was to ask you to take away a lesson, what is the lesson you want to take away from Pinchas? What would you say, Gavi? Avos Hashem and Yiras Hashem?
No.
Kanoi?
Right.
Have an idea, Moshe Lozer? What's the lesson to take away from Parshas Pinchas? What stands out? The lesson of Parshas Pinchas is the koyach of one single individual. One yechidi could change an entire situation, matzav of Klal Yisroel. One person who cares, one person who doesn't continue in his life, one person who's willing to rise to the occasion in a place that no one else cares about the bizoyin of Kvod Shemayim, at least enough to do anything. That's the lesson of Pinchas. Most people are not passionate and don't care about anything that's not related to themselves. They don't care about someone else's bizoyin. They don't even care about HaKadosh Baruch Hu's bizoyin. Their own bizoyin, that we've all seen people. They become tigers, passionate lions. They become sly. They become animalistic. But for Kvod Shemayim, Pinchas experienced such miracles as a result of his undertaking this heroic mission for nothing else but Kvod Shemayim. Pinchas was zeicha to become a kohen, bris kahuna solam. He became appointed to kahuna. He was given a covenant, a brisi shalai, with all that it entailed. He was given a avtacha at Pinchas will continue to live. Many brachas. It's tremendous. He saved the entire Klal Yisroel single-handedly. If we would put a little bit of kaiches, and when we learn the story of Pinchas, the instruction to us is not to be a kanoi. No, that's not the lesson. Because to be a kanoid like Pinchas You have to be on a very high madrega. But you have to learn from here that the power of a single human being. If you look through our history, the entire Yiddishkeit, the one who saved mankind, otherwise saving the world. Eila told us, Bihi Boram, it says, Hashemayim ba'aretz Bihi Boram, Al Tikri Bihi Boram Ela Avraham. You want to know who saved the world, who's considered to have given birth and saved the world? Avraham Avinu. A single individual rose in a world of darkness. And he said, I am going to stand up for Hashem. It's mind-blowing how no one else thought of that. Never fails to amaze me. There wasn't one other person in the time of Avraham Avinu that thought, I'm going to stand up for Hashem. You can't. It's so amazing that not one other person recognized the emes to such a degree, and he came to the Emunah and the Akara that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Adon Ha'olam. It's very hard to understand how nobody else. But we see that the whole of Klal Yisroel was one individual person. And that's every time you learn about Avraham Avinu, you have to say, wow, all it takes is one. If I'm makir the emes, if I bring the emes just a little more to my world, if I bring the truth a little more to my group, to my social group, to my city, you could change the world. Person has the ability to change the world. You look at individuals like the Chavetz Chaim, how they changed the world. One individual changed the world. You look at an individual before him, of Rabbi Yisroel Salanter. He decided, he saw the Yeridas Hadairis, he saw the generations falling, he saw people not caring anymore about the purpose which they came for this life for. People were getting involved in parnasa, people were getting involved in their daily grind, and he saw in his lifetime a yerida, a change. So he rose, and he started a revolution. He's going to revolution in an institute and be mechazik. People should learn Musar. And it's amazing what happened. He changed the world. Because of him we have a Slabotke. Because of him we have a Mir. Because of him there's a Ponevish. Because of him there's even a Telz. Blazer Telzer was one of the Talmidim of Rabbi Yisroel Salanter. And each one built the world. Rabbi Chaim Volozhin before that, who decided to bring to Klal Yisroel the concept called a yeshiva. I mean, it's mind-boggling. Here's we're talking about Klal Yisroel when people were much more else than they were today. They weren't shkatzim. The shuls were full at night. The shuls were full in the morning. The shuls were full by day. People learn Torah. And you come and say, I feel there's a need for a yeshiva. And I'm going to create a yeshiva. Unbelievable. I was reading recently that when Volozhin yeshiva was once in a terrible, terrible financial straits. So they decided they're going to go to raise money. The Beis Halevi went together with another Adam Gadol. And they went to this guy in Slutsk, who was said that he was valued at $7 million of that day. That's what he had. How rich that is. The guy was quite rich. They went in for an adava, and he gave him $2. Beis Halevi, this other Adam Gadol Ma'od. And the other Adam Gadol said, I'm not taking his $2. I'm not taking his money. He doesn't deserve. As a bezoyim, $2. Beis Halevi said, no, you have to take the money. Because it's not our money, it's the yeshiva's money. We're not a balabas on the yeshiva's money to take away from the yeshiva even $2. Doesn't belong to us. Can't turn it down. But you know what that is? You think a god like Beis Halevi with Nachat Keshet Tzaddik goes into a millionaire, he walks out with a check. Today, Reb Leir B'Ayel Ibshteim comes to America, you can be sure they're writing out $1 million checks. You're not getting on a plane until he knows that the tzedakah for which he's raising money for is going to be Hein Tiferes. As you went to Gvir, a guy gave him $2. The guy gave him $10. He's a Yechidim. The Panovich HaRav came from Europe, and the Panovich HaRav built Panovich. Have you ever been to Bnei Brog? If not, go to Bnei Brog to see what he built. He built an empire. He built a huge empire. Yeshivas, and not only Panovich, not only Bnei Brog, in other cities, in Ashdod, in Grad, in Mamish, all over. All offshoots. It's unbelievable. There was once a story how two Bachrim from the yeshiva Or Yisroel in Petach Tikva, they once came to visit the Chazon Ish in Bnei Brog. When they left his house, they were looking for Hasa'ah, for a ride, how to get back to Petach Tikva from Bnei Brog. It was late, so they looked for some kind of a hitch to Petach Tikva. And from the distance, they saw that somebody was a light. The light was moving around. So they decided, let's go to that light to find out maybe that can help us with our hitch. When they came close to the place, they saw to their surprise the Panovich HaRav. And he had in his hand a lantern that was shaking, waving a lantern. And he was standing alone on the top of a hill that eventually became Givat HaYeshiva. No, they looked to the Bachrim, it looked like the Panovich HaRav was looking for something. So they said to the Rav, Ulai Evshela Azolacha, maybe we can help the Rosh Yeshiva, the Rav, Panovich HaRav, with what you're looking for. Panovich HaRav said, Chipus, looking for something? That's what you think I'm doing. I'm not looking at something. I'm not searching for something. I'm not seeking something. I'm looking at something. Don't you see what I see? So, what do you see? He said, you don't see what I see? So he said, he looked at them, and they thought that maybe the Panovich HaRav was talking about the Churban, the Shoah, the destruction of his family, the destruction. He's seeing the night. He was seeing all these terrible things. So the Panovich HaRav realized that the Bachrim were not chapping what he's talking about. So he said to them, Ma'itchem, what's with you? He said, don't you see over here a Beis HaMedrash that holds 700 Bachrim? You don't see a Beis HaMedrash here. A building that's going to hold 700 Bachrim. And he said, turned his lantern to that side, and he said, you see over there, look good. Don't you see the lunchroom, the Cheder Eichel, it's going to be a building, Cheder Eichel. It's going to be spitz, like Bachar and Yeshiva deserve. And he said, it's not going to be necessary in Eretz Yisrael that Bachar should eat at people's homes and be subjugated and dependent on individuals. They looked at him like a strange, and they said, Agutta Nacht, they told him Leila Tov, and they went their way, and they were thinking, wow, this guy's wild, And they felt his pain for everything he had lost in Europe. Many years later, when the Chaloim, his dream became a reality, one of those two Bachrim, who had now grown up, came to the Panovich Rav, went over to the Rav, and he said, "Do you remember me?" Panovich Rav said, "Who are you?" They told him. He said, "I'm one of the Bachrim that bumped into you on a night when you were standing on the thing with your panas, with your lantern, and you were, oh." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, I remember you. Sure, come with me. Come accompany me." And he started to show him the binyan yeshiva, the different halakim in the yeshiva. And he started showing him this prat, that prat, and explaining. So finally the guy realized that the Panovich Rav was trying to get a donation out of him. He wanted to show him, how the yeshiva was blossom. So he turned to the Rav and he said, "I think there's some kind of error. I think there's a mistake. I'm not a gevir. It's not in my capabilities to help you out from financial state position." So the Panovich Rav became embarrassed, and he said, "Was trachst du? What do you think? What do you think?" He said, "You think I'm doing this to try to get you to give me a donation?" "Nay, my intention is something else completely," he said. "Look at me. I'm an old Rav," he said. He said, "I suffer now presently from a number of machlis. I'm zerbrochen from everything that I experienced in Europe, in the war. I lost my mishpacha, I lost my kravim, my yedidim, my chaverim, my city, my yeshiva, everything. Whatever I built in most of the days of my life, totally destroyed. Did you think that I would have the kaiches to build this empire? It's something that's not shaykh." Only a tippish could believe that it's possible. But the secret is, all I did was be mishtad, to rebuild the Torah. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu took care of everything else. That's all. But I want you to know, and know this, you should know this, and everybody should know this, and pass this along to the coming generations. A person is usher to weigh, to be sheikel, and think, what is in my kaiches to do? One thing you have to do. You have to think what needs to be done. And then you say, I'm going to make the revolution. I'm going to join the revolution. Ikan ve'elach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help. That's the limud that you have to know. And then there was a woman. This lady name was Sarah Schneer. It's amazing. Rav Shach used to always say over that he heard from the Chafetz Chaim on a number of occasions how he wasn't zoicha to be part of that revolution. Such a davar gadol. This woman took a few handful of girls when it was unheard of to educate girls, and she created the Beis Yaakov system. There was no school, there was no education for girls till then. It's mind-boggling. We can't even understand it. I tried to imagine myself, many times I tried to imagine that I'd be living in Europe and I'd see the girls, tens, hundreds, thousands, every city, Poland, Lithuania, Vumagate, Hungary, no school system for girls. Can you imagine that? I can't, it's in my cupboard. But they went to school. They went to gymnasium, it was called. Bible school. It's unbelievable. Entire door. And this one lady, this one single girl, decided she's going to build a system. Now, how did she build that system? Pelvic away. Shalom Shadran used to always say this story over. And he said, the beginning of this story was during the World War I. Sarah Schneer was one of many, many displaced individuals. She came from Krakow in Galicia, and she ended up in the city of Vienna. And over there she lived. She lived in a rented apartment, one of the sections of the city, and she was shaykh to a certain kihila. It was around the Beis HaKnesses. The Rav of the Beis HaKnesses was a Yid, Talmud Chacham. His name was Rev Palash. And he used to give shiurim kivuyim every Shabbos, b'Shabbat. The shiurim were around the Parshas HaShavua. And this lady, Mrs. Schneer, was one of the ladies who used to come to the shiurim and listen to the Rav speak. He was a peh mapik Margolius. He knew how to talk. And he had tremendous hashpah. And one day he spoke about how there's no school, no educational system for girls. And Beles Breira, many of the parents sent their kids to the public schools. All they're learning is kfira, no Messiah of Klal Yisroel. And he gave a shrayas, where are the chashmonoyim of our generation? Where are those that are going to raise the flag and they're going to be machriz, bachroza, mila Hashem elai? He asked this question with pain and left the question hanging. And Miss Schneer decided she's going to answer that call. She was the one who heard it, and she said, I'm going to make a revolution. Many heard his words. Many were even maybe pained by it, but no one did anything about it. So she came back to Krakow when she was able to, and she laid down the foundations of the Beis Yankov. She gathered around her a group of girls, and she taught them about Torah. She gave shiurei Torah, and you think everybody accepted her? No. Rabbonim, entire groups, Shreiter, Kfira, destruction. Can't teach girls Torah. Gemara says in Shaita, you teach a girl Torah, it's Kabbalah the Tiflus. It's the worst thing in the world to teach girls Torah. And there was such a tumult, back and forth. Mamish it was Mabel al-Ryan, no one would accept it. They were against it. But she asked Das Torah. And she didn't care what the whole world said. And she became the Avram Avinu of the Dor. And the Chavetz Chaim wrote in his Lakuti Halachos on SHLITA. We saw it. We learned that sugya. He writes a long shtickle, but how she's right, and this is what applies now and then. And you know, it's not against the Gemara, it's not against Torah, it's not against Rebbeinu Shalom. It's L'man Hashem. And the Chavetz Chaim many times would say how sorry he is that he didn't have a chelik in this Moised. Such an amazing Moised, such an amazing revolution. It saved Klal Yisroel. Saved Klal Yisroel. I remember my father telling me that he would meet people from Europe, and they would tell them they were married to ladies who weren't from Chassidish Yidden in Varsha. I remember my father told me the first time, my father was like, went crazy. The guy who told him he was married to a wife, he used to go to the movies on Friday night. What? What a shaykh. So you couldn't get married otherwise. Couldn't get married. Couldn't get married. There was nobody available. There was no girls. And the Chassidim didn't want to change. So the Chassidim accepted the Beis Yaakov system. It was very hard, very difficult. There was no girls. They all went to Bible school. Couldn't get married. In yeshivas, it was common 30 years old. 35 year old. My grandfather said in Slobodka, you couldn't get a shidduch. No one wanted to marry a yeshiva man. And my grandfather got married to a girl from Europe. A lot of Baruch Matayna said him, you're an American, go back to America and get married. You can't have a girl who wants to marry a yeshiva bacher, and you're taking it away. Leave it for us, we can't marry an American. That's how people felt. The Mila Hashem Elai, Rabbi say, these are revolutions. These are the Pinchas of the Dor. These are the Yehuda HaMaccabes of the Dor. These are the people who rose to the occasion and did things to save Klal Yisrael. It's amazing. HaRav Shalom used to say the story, and he would say, let's imagine now this Rav, this Wiener Rav from Vienna is going to come to Shemayim, and he's going to find over there worlds upon worlds upon worlds of schusim for himself. And he's going to wonder, what shaykhs does this have to be? Everything. And in Bezdin Shomayla, they're going to remind him of that drasha he once gave on Shabbos. And they're going to show him the peiros of that drasha. How one individual woman rose up to the occasion and she changed the world. And all because you were zeicha today. And this is our history. And whenever we see a parsha like that, we have to move. Now everybody would love to be part of revolution. If you have a beating heart in yourself, you would love to be a person who changes the world and who makes accomplishments that reverberate. I mean, it's amazing. I see some people, they're like tiny little pebbles. They want to be, when you throw them in some water, a body of water, still water, you can't even see a ripple from the thing. But most human beings, there's burning within them a fire. And that fire says, when I fall into the lake, I want to see the ripples go all across the lake and ripple and ripple and ripple and ripple. You know what the problem is? Most people don't have the schus. And you know why they don't have the schus? Because they don't have the rutzin. If a person has the rutzin, little people could do very big things. Here the next week, I'm going to a dinner in Lakewood where one woman, not a yeshivish woman, a doctor's wife, became aware whose husband has a very, very busy practice. And she has a big heart. And in her heart, a heart of Rahmanis, and she met women and people who came and gave us sob stories. I don't know exactly how it began, but her heart poured out in Rahmanis for these people. So in the Ir HaKodesh, Lakewood, this woman, whose husband's not a yeshiva man, he never learned in Lakewood, will never learn in Lakewood, decided to raise money for these people and write out checks. And today she has a business, a $1.7 million a year that she distributes. Pesach, Sukkot, monthly, it's Mavel Alaran. Aren't you? Is she a wealthy person? No. She didn't have a husband who was a millionaire and she was able to write out checks. She decided to do that. And I'm shocked of how many millionaires there are in Lakewood today. There are multi-millionaires whose wives could do this. but they're busy by the pool. They're drinking smoothies. They're in the gym. They don't like people in their house. They don't want to be bothered by people in their driveway. Their house, they like their grass not to be stepped on. Of course, they have maids. They have help to cook and help to clean and help to drive. They have help for everything. Oh, they have a great hearts for their own needs. Oh, wonderful people. They're dedicated 100% to themselves. And they heard about this. And I'm thinking to myself, why don't you wake up out of your slumber, get out of your coma, and join the project? Say, I'm going to bring another $1 million every year. You can do it easily. Nah, that's not my thing. What's your thing? Being in a gym? Sitting on a bicycle? This new kind of bicycles, they have these funny little bicycles now in the gyms. I forgot what they're called. Racers. I once went into a gym and saw everybody, mama, was just driving strange bicycles. That's it, there's crazy people today. There's a revolution going on. You see, one could jump on the bandwagon. Anybody can jump on that bandwagon. Do the same thing. How can I do the same thing? Raise some money for people. Do you have a heart? Does anything ichpas lecha? Does it bother you? This was a lady who bother said, no shaykhs to these people. They're not hurt people. You want to have Rahmanis, give them a little discount on their charges, maybe. Okay, that's not what I was saying. That's very nice. They're bothered day and night. The lady has a library in her house. It's one project and another project. She has in her house all the Jewish books you can get a hold of. And she allows, people told me they were in her house Erev Shabbos, before Shabbos, people are walking in and walking out, sitting and reading books. It's like it's Hefkerville. Yeah, no, she runs it. Of course she runs it. Look, that is, it's unbelievable. Why can't you do that? Why don't you learn from her? Because you're plut. Because you're tippish. Somebody paved the way for you. Be a Maccabee. Join the Maccabees at least. You're not Yehuda Maccabee, you're not Matisyo. Join them at least. Everyone has to participate in this. And you can't say, who am I? Now during this time of the year, there's a special opportunity to stand up for K'vayt Shemayim. When everybody is mevaza K'vayt Shemayim in the worst possible way. This is a time when all the tsaras of Klal Yisroel befell Klal Yisroel during these 3 weeks. Its history is dark, paved with lots of blood and corpses of men, women, children, Zekanim, Na'arim, Anoshim, Betaf. And Hashem says, think of my tzaras. Think of my tzaras. 3 weeks. Somebody called me today, could he go to a Sheva Brachas tonight? Having live music. It can be a matzah. 3 weeks. I don't care. Meshkech Yerushalayim, Tishkach garnished. Yerushalayim, I hope I forget you. I don't want to be disturbed. I don't want to have my life. It's gate minishtan. Hashem says, do something. This is a chance you have to be Yachid. Now the Ramchal, in his Mesilas Yesharim, asked this question: V'im yaymar Adam, if a person will say, Mi ani, who am I? Mani Sofa, what am I worth? I'm not miyuchis, I'm not a big tzaddik. She'espal al Aisha Davin al Hagolas, al Yerushalayim. Who am I? I'm garnished. Hamipnei tfilosi, is it because of my tfilos? Yikonsu agoliyos v'titzmach ha-Yeshua. Is that going to bring about the Yeshua? What the answer is? Shuvas Yitzite says. Every person is an individual. What you can daven, I can't daven. What I can daven, you can't daven. Why don't you try? Why don't you at least do what Hashem tells you to do? What the halacha says you should do? Act act a little bit ba'avelus. And you know what kind of nachas ruach he says this is? The fun of Yisborach, that his children should be mevakshim, umispalim al zois, even if Hashem doesn't do what you want, because it's not the zman or me'eza tam sheyi, he says. Hineheim also SHLITA, they did what they have to do. Why don't you rise to the occasion and do that? It happens to be, it coincides with Bein HaZmanim, and everybody is running away, and everybody's going to have a ball now. Everybody's going to the Harim, to the mountains, or to the Tzimerin in Eretz Yisroel, and everybody's going on vacation. The last thing you're thinking about is the Rebbeinu Shalom. Why don't you think about the Rebbeinu Shalom? You know why? Because you say, Mi ani, who am I? Nobody says, don't say that. He says, Va'al heder, the Navi Yeshaya came, he says, and tried on this, and said, Vayar ki ein ish, and he saw there was no man. Vayishtaimim, he was shocked. Ki ein mavgir. No one cares about Kvod Shemayim. You know what the tsar of the Shechina is over the fact there's no Beis HaMikdash? We learned recently, we saw what happened to Leil Shavuos, when the Malach came to the Beis Yosef and said, if you would know the tsar of Shechina is, how much tsar, you'd never have a smile on your face your entire life. You wouldn't know what it means. Va'abit, I look, no one's helping me. They're shtaimim, they ain't seimim. It says a pasuk, tziyoni. This is tziyon. Dairish Eila, no one cares about it. Ichlal the boy drisha. We're chayiv in this. And we should be parted from this. Every one of you should give some time every single day to think, what am I doing? What can I do? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Beis HaMikdash is destroyed. It's a matzav of SHLITA begalusa. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want to share in your tsar. I want to think about your tsar. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for whatever it's worth, rebuild the Beis HaMikdash. You want me to say that? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm going to say that. I may not understand it. I never saw the Beis HaMikdash. I never felt the Beis HaMikdash. It's only history for me. That's a din in Shulchan Aruch. And a person has to rise to the occasion and do this. And therefore, every one of us should commit and learn from Pinchas that if somebody rises and cares about the bizayin of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and doesn't look for heterim, how to get out, how do you listen to music beheter? I mean, that's the most nauseous question you get. I just saw an affair being arranged. It was arranged for the 9 days. It's called Siyum Extravaganza. They're having a Siyum, and it's going to be extravaganza during the 9 days. They're going to eat basar v'yayin v'chol matam. They're serving a bash like nobody's bash. Come join us, bash. It's not cheap, not giving for free. You need people who like Elam Haza, who must have their basar v'yayin during the 9 days dafke. 9 days without basar v'yayin. How can you have it? It's not even 9 days because Shabbos is in the middle. But to go a few days to the child, that's what a person has to understand. Let us, Rabbi, say, wake up and learn from Pinchas and bring nachas ruach to Rebbeinu Shalom, and then we will have Yisroel, hopefully, to the Bias Hagoyel Tzedek b'mehera v'yameinu.